they do not want people like you and me at football, Kevin. Some clubs trying to shift away from season ticket holders. The average price for a ticket in the Premier League in 22-23, including VAT, was...
You're the second news story, Kieran, because despite it being a busy week news-wise, we want to talk about some analysis that you've done about ticket prices.
Yes. One of the things that I do sort of at the end of every season is to try to look at the direction of travel in terms of where clubs are getting money from. And we are aware that the current TV deal between the Premier League and the domestic broadcasters is flatlining. The Premier League is also pushing very much that the new TV deal, which is coming in 2025, is fantastic. It's a record, £6.4 million. And so I go, well, hold on. That's because it's 4 years instead of 3. Actually, the cost per season is the same, and because you're committing to the broadcasters more matches, the cost per match being broadcast is actually decreasing. So if we're getting no more money from broadcasters, and kit deals, we know that kit merchandise prices are going up, but kit deals are not as lucrative, apart from the very elite clubs, as many fans think. Where are clubs going to target next? And like it or not, and we don't, it looks as if that target is now going to be fans in terms of matchday prices. So I did an analysis. I took every club, their total matchday revenue for the past couple of seasons that we've got, so that's 21-22 and 22-23, looked at the number of home matches that they played, looked at the average attendance per match, and worked out how much clubs were generating. And then you have to be a little bit careful, because the figures shown in the club accounts are excluding VAT, so then I add VAT on and so on. And sort of the average price for a ticket in the Premier League in 22-23, including VAT, was around about £45. So that is not great, and that actually covers an awful lot. At Chelsea, who had the most expensive tickets, it worked out as £91 per fan per match, whereas Nottingham Forest were very much at the lowest. And people say, I know Chelsea fans say, I know my season ticket price is steep, but it's not £91. What you need to remember is that match day includes corporate tickets, hospitality, as well as the regular crew at Stamford Bridge or Anfield or Selhurst, wherever it's going to be. But the fact that it's increased by 11% over the season, and we are seeing more and more noises coming out. Arsenal have just announced their price rise, and I think you've got to give the Arsenal Supporters Trust a lot of credit for going into bat. We know that there have been issues with senior fans at Spurs and also at West Ham, from some West Ham fans that I'm speaking to, that you either pay full price or you end up getting shifted around to this. And we always say that part of the enjoyment of going to football is because you're sitting with Tom or Joe or Diane, or whoever it's going to be, who sits next to you and around you, and I don't know very much about these people, but I do count them as friends, because you don't see them outside of football, but they are part of your match day experience, and you always know that such and such a person is going to start moaning after 10 minutes, and such a person can never see anything but, even when you're 6-0 down at home, all of those goals were clearly offside. And that part of the relationship is part of our experience of the match. And forcing the fans to be shifted is not a good thing. We're also seeing clubs trying to shift, or some clubs trying to shift away from season ticket holders, because the private equity organisations, they're revenue maximisers. They do not want people like you and me at football, Kevin. We have served our time. We did our bit in the 70s, 80s and 90s when nobody was interested in football. Now that football's the sexiest thing on the planet, let's attract the more middle class, the tourist fans, the fans who will go to the megastore in the matches and so on. I think this is a direction of travel. It's only going to continue to head one way, as much as we want. But I know an organisation, Spirit of Shankly, they've asked me to do an analysis of what's happened at Liverpool. So I've gone back all the way to 1992, 93, and you look at the increase in prices. And yes, that there have been significant periods of time when we've had freezes in prices, but at the same time, there's been significant increases in the last couple of years. And once that becomes embedded, I think it will become part of the expectation of the owners that they will try to put up prices every year.